Hi friends, Mandy here. Welcome back to part 2 of this envelope journal that I have created using the printables from Michelle at the Junk Journal Studio. This is the All Things Roses set. I am going to work on covering the little cover of my envelope journal here. I'm taking one of the papers, it just happens to work out that the size is really good for the size journal that I created, and I trimmed it down to the right height, and I left it just the 8.5 by 11. I left the 11 inches. And so what I'm doing is I'm coming to the middle. It was just a little bit less than 11. It's like 10 3/4 or something. So I'm coming to the middle and just kind of marking a little line there. And then I'm going to measure my spine. And I think it was roughly like a 1/2 inch for my spine for this journal. So I'm going to mark a 1/4 inch on either side of that line just so that I make sure that I'm getting this spine centered on this patterned paper. I wanted to do that because there's like a sheet of music on this paper, and so I really wanted it to kind of wrap around the spine in a certain way. So now I'm just going to fold on either side of that, and that is going to be basically the little spine that's going to hold this journal. So I probably could have made it just a little bit bigger since this journal is going to expand a little bit, but I didn't want to get it too big so that because there was really no other support than this paper, which is actually some heavyweight cardstock that I printed on. You can see the sides are a little bit longer than my journal, but that's not a problem. We're going to go ahead and trim that down as well. So I'm just starting off with this front cover. Again, this is an envelope journal, so all of these pages are made out of envelopes. I'll put the link to the part 1 video down below in the description if you haven't seen that video. And then I'm just coming in with my art glitter glue here, and I went right up to the edges, and then I'm going to put this, I'm going to kind of nestle the text block part down into the spine and then adhere it to the cover, but I did not put glue on the spine. And that's really important because I want that to be able to open up. It's what's going to allow my journal to open flat. And so on this back side, I did the same exact thing, but there's no glue on the actual spine piece. It just kind of wraps around that part. And that, like I said, will allow this to open up flat. And then I'm just going to trim off these edges, and now I can start filling these pockets. So in another video, I think I'll try to remember to link that one too. I created some of these ephemera pieces using the images from the All Things Roses kit. And so now I'm going to use some of those pieces, the ones that were kind of small enough that I could put into this little journal here. And I had these little postcards that I thought I was going to use for like side tucks or pockets, and I'm actually going to use them. There was this one little flap of this envelope lip that I had not covered from the last video. And so I'm gluing this one side down completely to this one postcard, and then I'm going to glue this other postcard on the opposite side and then just glue this as a pocket. So I'm only putting the adhesive on the 3 sides and then just lining that up, and then that will give me a little tuck spot that I can tuck a journaling card in. And then that also covers up that envelope. I was going to kind of leave it as just a funny shaped like pocket, but I decided against that. So this is actually a journaling card that I have had in my stash. I created it a long time ago. There may or may not be a video for it just in one of the times when I was making ephemera, but it just happened the colors matched. And so I'm going to pull some of these other pieces from the All Things Roses ephemera pieces, and I just found one that I felt like worked really well on this journaling card. I'm going to distress it with some archival ink in ground espresso, and I'm going to glue it. And then I wanted a little word, so in this kit there's also a bunch of word like wordfetti and in different sizes, and so I pulled the one that said lovely and I trimmed that down, and then I'm going to adhere that on there as well. So I adhered the word to this little label part, and then I will glue that down on my journaling card, and then that's just going to tuck in the pocket and work to hold notes or whatever. So there's a lot of little pockets in this journal, obviously, because it was made from envelopes. So just wanting to make sure that that is stuck down, and it's going to tuck in that first section. And this part, you're going to kind of see me flipping back and forth throughout the journal as I'm filling pockets and adding pockets and doing all that that's just how I work in my journal. So I'm sorry if it doesn't make sense. I'm sorry if you can hear my son laughing in the background. He's playing on his computer. So anyway, I feel like I apologize for that a lot, but that's just, he's very loud right now. Anyway, I am adding this. This was actually designed to be a belly band, but it's just a little bit too tall for this particular journal. But I went ahead and just centered it, and then I will trim off the excess after that is good and dry. And then again, I'm flipping to another section of the journal. I'm adding one of these pockets. This pocket is actually part of the ephemera kit, and you just cut it out and fold it. And I'm going to glue that down here on this other page. So there's going to be like an outer pocket, and then there's still the, the inner pocket from the envelope itself. And then there was also this little library card that tucks perfectly in there that says All Things Roses on it as well. And then I decided to do another little word fetty there as well. And I created these little corner tuck spots. And so I just found a place for this one to go here. And then I will just adhere that on the two sides. And these actually worked really well for this size of journal. So I was excited about that. And I know that this journal has a lot of, it's got some pinks and it's got teals, and you could certainly use this set, just use only the pinks or only the yellows or whatever. I just like the variety of that. And at this point, my journal is already getting a little bit chunky, so I'm going to try to kind of minimize some of that by just adding some decoration. So I added that little label to that one page, and then here to this belly band, I'm going to add another one of these journaling cards. There are these ephemera pieces that look like postage stamps, and you could certainly cut them out so that they look like a postage stamp. But for this particular card, I'm just going to cut down this rose image. So I just cut off all of the part that looked like a postage stamp. I'm going to distress the edge, and this is just going to be the focal point for my journaling card. It is covering up some of the collaging that was done underneath there, but that's fine. The layers are part of just what makes it interesting. So and then I'm just kind of switching things out. I had this tag that I had made. I liked that better in that little corner tuck spot. And then again, you see me just kind of flipping back and forth. And now we're on these kind of yellow and teal pages. This is the one that has the flip out. This yellow section actually flips out. And there was this beautiful lady here in like this frame, but she just kind of got lost on that page. So I'm just adhering her to some vintage music paper, and then I'm going to kind of tear that out almost like a secondary frame just to give it a little bit more interest and just to make it really stand up off of that busier background. And certainly you could add, you could write directly on some of these backgrounds. There's a lot of writing space in this little journal, even though it's just a little simple journal made from just regular mailing envelopes. There's a lot of little tuck spots, a lot of places that you can journal on here. So just adding the adhesive to that music paper, and then you'll see I'm just going to stick her right down in the center on this page. And again, trying to be mindful of not adding too many layers because my little journal's already getting thick. This was a tag that also came with the ephemera kit, and it was just a little bit too tall for my journal, so I just trimmed down the bottom and it slid right in there and worked just fine. And then there was this other card that was like a reprint of a birthday card or something like that. And so I'm just kind of trimming down some of the edges, and then just because, again, these were just a little bit bigger than my envelopes. So I am going to make this one into a tag. So I just kind of trim the corner. And then if you ever want to do this, you can just flip that piece that you cut off, flip it over, put it on the other side, and then you'll make sure that both of your little edges are the same. And then just going around that again with the archival ink, and I'm going to tuck that right into this little pocket as well. So I didn't want to make this journal get like too thick because, the thicker that it gets, the harder it is to get things in and out of the envelopes. So I am going to just kind of add some decoration. I feel like on this page especially, this little label that I'm adding, if I added it at the bottom, it could certainly work for a tuck spot for another tag or whatever, but I'm just going to go ahead and put it right in the middle, and it still leaves plenty of room for writing. I think you could even write on that other page on the opposite side. Lots of room for writing, like I said. And then I'm just going to go through here and tuck some more of these journal cards. I needed to trim those threads down, and I'm just going to do a little flip through now that I've got all of the pockets filled. I did pull a couple of things from Tim Holtz, some journaling cards that I had in my stash, and I just added a few of those in some of the pockets that I didn't have ephemera already made for. And he did have some that, kind of coordinated with these as well, with that whole vintage vibe. So just making sure I have all of my little pockets filled with beautiful things and places to write. And so then some of these became almost double pockets and belly bands and that kind of stuff. So that was a library card I had in my stash. And then again, some more Tim Holtz things. And this is that part that flipped out. This was a tag that I had created previously, and then another journaling card, and that's it. So anyway, if you like this video, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. All the links will be in the description. And until next time, bye.